Howdy, folks. I'm Brian.
I'm Amber.
How are you folks all doing today? Guess what? I have a very cheap icon for my image for the YouTube. So let me know what you think of the icon. I was like, yeah, maybe it's about time I actually start making icons again. But I was like, so much effort. So now I have a auto icon,
Thumbnail.
auto thumbnail. That's what I'm looking for. It's good that Amber's right here to keep me in check. So yeah, let's get started. All right. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Walking Around My House Topless? So I'm a 25-year-old female and I like to work out in the mornings. I have a little home gym set up in the garage where I start my mornings. By the time I'm done, I've typically worked up quite the sweat, and so I'll throw my shirt into the laundry while on my way to the bathroom to take a shower. However, this past weekend, I've instead just thrown my shirt into the laundry, towel off, and then gone into the kitchen to make myself brunch/lunch before I shower. I'm still in my sports bra and I still have my shorts/pants on while I'm doing this, and I personally don't see anything wrong with it. My neighbor, a male in his late 50s, did though. So, all right. So, no. Just no. Why is he looking into your house? That is my first question. The windows to my kitchen faces his backyard, and so he came by today to tell me that I've been incredibly inappropriate lately towards his family. I have no idea what he was talking about, as I've hardly talked to him or his family, and then he brought up the fact that for the past 2 days, I've been in my bra by the kitchen window. He ended up calling me an exhibitionist, and that this wasn't something that he or his family wants to see.
Don't look in their windows.
Close your eyes. Don't look in through people's windows, and don't be a peeping Tom. Wow. Well, we just solved all the problems today.
You're really smart.
I didn't like being called that, so I told him that I'll keep what he says in mind, but I'll wear whatever I want while I'm in my house, and it's not like I'm walking around naked by the windows. All right, folks. Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Really? I mean, there are a lot of people who use sports bras as kind of like an exercise gear on its own. And this is absolutely absurd that they're looking in, invading OP's privacy, and then flipping the script on OP and being like, you're the gross one. No, OP, you're not the gross one. They're the gross ones for looking in through your windows and preoccupying them. They have nothing better to do with their time. They have nothing better to do with their time than to be like, oh, well, let's look what the neighbor's doing now this morning. Oh, looks like the neighbor's back. Oh no, the neighbor's walking around with her bra on. Honey, I think I'm scandalized, but I just can't look away. There's just nothing I can do, hun. Sorry. $5 says this guy was getting enjoyment out of the show. His wife walks into the kitchen, sees, or back into the room that he's watching her through, and be like, George, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, Martha, I was traumatized. I just didn't know what was going on. And so she was like, so that's what happened. That's what happened. This is the reality I'm writing in my mind. If that didn't happen, I don't care. It happened in my mind. So no, OP, not the jerk. Not the jerk. Tell him he's making you uncomfortable by being a peeping Tom and peeking in your windows. Bonus points if you do it in front of his wife. And you're in a sports bra, you're not topless. Yeah, exactly. And don't forget to mention that if he doesn't stop peeking in your windows, you might have to call the police on a peeping Tom. That's what my thoughts are. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Telling My Coworkers That I'm Polyamorous and Laughing at Them? That depends. Are you laughing at them because they're not polyamorous? I'm a 32-year-old female, and I'm in a polyamorous relationship with Ruby, my girlfriend of 11 years, and Louie, my boyfriend of 10 years. The three of us all date each other and are closed off to dating anyone outside of our current relationship. I've never mentioned this to my coworkers because I've never cared to. I don't tend to talk about my life while I'm at work. A few weeks ago, my coworker Ken, who was aware that I had a boyfriend, saw me making out with Ruby at a bar and took some pictures. He apparently started telling everyone that I was cheating on Louie and showed pictures of Ruby and I. I had noticed that some people were giving me the cold shoulder, but I just figured it was something to do with my recent promotion. All right, I want to stop here for a second. Instead of being like, oh, I'm approaching OP and being like, hey, did you break up with something happened between you and your boyfriend? Did you guys break up or something? He immediately jumps to the conclusion that OP is cheating and starts spreading rumors around about OP here. Instead of like addressing the problem, instead of like satiating his curiosity and trying to figure out what was going on, because she could have been broken up with Louie.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing in here that says like Louie works at this place and has like everyone's undivided attention or something. Louie and them could have broken up. Plain and simple. He didn't ask about it. He didn't confront them. He just made assumptions. And you know what they say about assumptions. They make a jerk out of you and me. The YouTube censored version. A few days ago, I was talking to my friend in the break room about her ex and mentioned how much I hated cheaters, which prompted Ken and a few of my other coworkers to start calling me out and telling me I was a hypocrite. When I said that I never cheated, Ken confronted me with the pictures of Ruby and I at the bar and a picture of Louie and I on a date from last week. Ken kept saying, "So, who are you dating?" while shoving his phone in my face. What in the world? Is he walking around following you and taking pictures, OP? I would be more concerned about this. Why does he have nothing better to do with his time than to be your PI following you around taking pictures? This is disconcerting. This is just beyond disconcerting that he just happens to be in the right place at the right time to take pictures of you? What? All right. Oh my goodness. So I just brushed off his arm aside and told him both of them. That only seemed to make him and others worse off since he started nagging me again, and I started laughing. I wasn't trying to be rude, but I actually found it funny how upset everyone was getting over my relationship and that they had no idea about it. He stopped talking after I laughed, and I took that time to explain my relationship and showed pictures of all three of us, including ones of Ruby and I kissing, and joked about him taking pictures like a stalker, like the frickin' fact that he was acting like a stalker and taking... Who does this? I have, I've seen people that I've known out in public, and I've never once been like, you know what? I want to take a picture of that person while they don't know that I'm taking a picture of them. Like, okay, maybe if I were doing it as like a joke and being like, ha, I would, you could take a picture of somebody and then send it to them like right then and there and be like, look behind you. And then they would probably just run away because I was just behind them. But I mean, such is friendship. That's the gift that keeps on giving. So, but no, like, no one, this is not normal behavior. You don't look at your coworkers out in public and be like, I'm going to take a picture of them. I've never had that instinct. Let me know if you folks do that. I'm curious now if this is something that people do. Do you take random pictures of people you know out in public for no reason? Now a bunch of my coworkers are mad that I hid my polyamory from them and are now saying it's my fault that they're now looking like jerks for talking bad about me behind my back. No, this is not how it works at all. You are not to blame for them being jerks. This is victim blaming at its best. At its finest. Am I the jerk for not telling my coworkers that I'm poly and subsequently laughing in their faces? It was none of their business. Edit just to clear some things up. Ken does not know either of my partners. He only knows about Louie and had no reasonable way of knowing if I was still with him at the time. I was unaware of any of pictures being taken until Ken showed me them. And 3, Ken was definitely stalking me. And I've been in contact with the police, so thank you to my coworkers who reached out with some info about that. That is scary. I'm glad that this was like, okay, so this was Ken just being like a creep. Update. And I guess this is new even to Amber.
Yes.
Update. So I just got home and here's an update of what's happened so far. Yesterday, a few of my coworkers saw my post and decided to let me know that he had been showing them more pictures than the ones I saw. Oh man, my blood would be running cold if I were OP right then. Why did any... Okay, at what point did the coworkers not be like want to warn OP that Ken was like keeping a closer eye on them than they should be comfortable with? A coworker in IT who was working last night read it and looked in his company computer for any possible pictures, and there were a lot. When I talked to HR this morning, they were aware of both issues as IT had alerted them when they found pictures and sent a link to my post, and my friends who work here had also told HR the day that it happened, even though I had told her originally not to worry about it, but they couldn't do anything until I made a report. The pictures obviously changed that. Ken was definitely stalking me. He was immediately fired, and we ended up having to get the police involved because it was determined that I was in immediate danger. I do have a temporary restraining order before the court date, but he is currently with the police. HR had me go home early, and honestly, I'm exhausted. A lot more stuff is happening right now, but some of it I can't talk about right now, and others I don't really want to talk about. I don't blame you, OP. Sorry this is kind of disjointed, I didn't get much sleep last night, and my head's kind of spinning from everything. When I originally posted this, I didn't really take this situation seriously. I just figured it was a coworker just wanting some drama, and just happened to be a prime candidate. Ken had always been kind of a bit of a creepy nice guy, but I never thought much of it, and when I laughed and called him a stalker, I never would have expected that to be true. Louie and Ruby were able to take some time off and are spending the day with me at home cuddling and watching movies, so if anyone has any good movie recommendations, please let me know. I'm exhausted and ready for all this to be over. Thank you all so much for everything. You've all made my eyes open to the real situation when I was laughing it off as a weird coworker. I'll update if anything else happens, and I'll update when we go to court, as long as I'm allowed. Also, Ruby and Louie told me all of you thanks, and they're reading over my shoulders as I type. Edit 2, I forgot to add that my coworker in IT did let me know about the pictures last night after he found them. Alright, folks. Do I have to ask? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Literally, my coworker literally gets arrested for stalking me. It sounds like, wow, this was not what I was expecting to read at all. Like, reading through that post, I was like, this sounds really weird, and if I were in an OP situation, I would totally be contacting HR. And so I'm kind of glad that that situation resolved itself here, because like, man, can you believe that? That is just ridiculous. I don't know what else to add here. Not the jerk. Not the jerk. Your polyamory is none of their business, and frankly, Ken deserves to be called out for photographing you in public like some creepy stalker. Turns out, since he apparently wasn't going to show these pictures to Louie as proof that you were cheating, it looks like he was only showing them around the office to gossip about you. In your place, I would be talking to HR about Ken. And OP replies, I've been debating doing it since, but it will be a lot of trouble to report him. Alright, folks, it's everybody's favorite time. Tea time. Can you guess what kind of tea I have today? While we wait for you to guess, we will open to a random page and pick out a random joke, and we'll go from there. What did the polar bear have for lunch? Iceburgers. What?
Iceberg. Icebergers? Is pretty good, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Terrible.
I enjoyed it.
I love it. I love it. I had mint tea, just to let you know. All right, let's move right along to our next story, which is titled, Am I a Jerk for Trying to Get My Employee, a 24-year-old female, to do her job? Hello all, I'm a 40-year-old male and a senior designer of a very small company. I have been overwhelmed with work, and about 6 months ago, we hired someone to be my junior. I'm not technically her boss, but as her senior, I basically act as a substitute for one. Well, I was a little suspicious of this girl, a 24-year-old female, because she seemed to have a different experience than someone who had wanted to apply to this role. She majored in UI/UX, which is just user interface stuff, but we had a lot in common and she seemed friendly. I used to work as a team lead for a game design studio, and I managed a bunch of younger employees who kind of saw me as the team dad. And she reminded me of those kids who used to work for me there. Well, my last role was more competitive, but my wife was pregnant and I wanted to take an easier job to help her out with the pregnancy/baby. I wanted to ease her into things, but apparently she had some training scheduled for UI/UX person during her downtime. We don't have downtime here. I saw that she had a meeting on her calendar with him for after working hours, so I told her that she didn't have my permission to do that. She said that she had finished all of her design work, but that's only because I was shielding her from the harder work. I'm the one having to do the difficult projects, and she's not even thankful that I'm saving her from having to work weekends. I didn't tell her to do these tasks, but as an adult, it's her job to take initiative and volunteer. So, okay. I mean, this isn't necessarily unreasonable for someone to like take initiative to do a particular job, but OP, like if you've given her a certain number of tasks and she's under the impression that there are a certain number of tasks, then you should continue to dole out additional work as she completes things. I mean, you can't blame her. Okay, OP, OP. You hired someone to help you do a job, and you're not letting them help you do that job. No, this isn't. You can ease her into things, yes, but don't object when she finishes her work off early, right?
Well,
Just
she wants it's after hours.
yeah. So as Amber just pointed out, this is after work hours. I kind of missed that bit when I was going through, but this is literally after working hours, right? So he wants to control her after working hours schedule? OP, what is wrong with you? This is after working hours. No, you're a complete jerk here. Don't be gross. If you want to keep a good employee who's finishing their work, then don't try to control their after working hours. They're not going to be an employee for very long if you're trying to dictate what they can and can't do in their after hours after they're done with their work for the day. That's very unreasonable. I've tried to look out for her best interest and be a friendly boss, but you admitted you're not her boss. But I've also had to remind her that I'm in charge. During a meeting, when I was having a really horrific day, mostly because I was picking up work that she should be doing, plus stress on my wife's pregnancy, I snapped and called her a B that was completely inappropriate and unprofessional. Look, OP, you're having a bad day because you are refusing to be okay, you need to learn how to delegate. Delegate, OP, delegate. That's what she's there for. Assign her more work. Give her even more work to do. If you don't trust her, that's on you. No, I've never called a woman this my entire life. It wasn't a gendered insult. The word just came out instead of something like jerk. She looked upset and ended up calling out without even saying bye. I know it was unprofessional of me, but I've been called much worse than that in previous jobs, and I assumed that she would get over it. I was friendly with her via Instant Messenger the rest of the day, but she did not reply. I wonder why. I got an email from HR that said that she had requested us, me, her, and HR, to meet about this incident, and I'm not sure what to do. I guess you're gonna go meet with HR, aren't you? My wife said that calling her a B was crossing a line, even if she's lazy and doesn't want to do her job, which you're not giving her the option to do. And plus, she's trying to do improvement, like build up her skills by going to this UI UX design thing. OP, I'm just shaking my head at OP here. And I can see that this wasn't the right move, but going to HR seems way out of line. I know that I shouldn't have insulted her, but I feel like overall she's constantly being the problem here. Am I the jerk? All right, OP. I mean, I think I pretty well covered all the bases here. I mean, what do you folks think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Jerk. She's not a mind reader.
She can't read your mind, OP. She doesn't know your expectations. It doesn't sound like you've laid them out. You haven't been like, oh, hey, I'm giving you these jobs to do, and if you end up finishing all these tasks, just come to me and I'll give you even more work, right? You didn't say that. And now you're blaming her for you being overwhelmed, and you took this job to have an easier time, to spend more time with your wife. Look, OP, you're bringing all this on yourself, and you snapped under pressure. You said some stuff that you regret, and you need to apologize to her. You need to tell her, you need to explain in adult why you did what you did, right? You did this because you're overstressed, you're overworked, and you wanted to take this out on her because you felt like she wasn't pulling her weight. But you did not tell her that she was not pulling her weight. Instead, you just assumed that she would know your expectations without even consulting you. Right? You need to be a good boss, you need to lay out your expectations. You need to let your employees know what you expect of them. And you did not do a good job of this, right? You need to learn how to communicate better. And communication does not involve, insulting your, employee because they can't read your mind. That is not a good quality of leadership. That's very poor on your part. So yeah, I think that you'll hopefully just get a warning for now with your behavior in HR. But you need to learn how to be an adult, and you need to learn how to resolve your issues professionally without resorting to insulting people. So yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. Okay, I'm almost 42 and I have a senior role. I'll explain it to you really slowly. You're the jerk. Here's why. She isn't a telepath. She doesn't know that you're shielding her. Give her tasks that you want her to do. You want her to do the work. Give her the work. What's up with that? Also, what's she doing after working hours is none of your business. And don't use unprofessional language at work. You're going to get in trouble with HR, whatever you think. Yeah, that's some solid advice there. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving us a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Tuesday. Wait, yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
It will be Tuesday. And
we never talked about Wordle.
oh, I popped up on the screen. I did have that on the screen, so there was the Wordle there. Let me know how you folks did on Wordle.
Did it in 3.
And Amber did it in 3. I did it in 4. So yeah, let us know how you did in Wordle. So anyhow, take care, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.